Hi guys, welcome back. This is Eric Lowe from Swordwind Historical Swordsmanship. I'm joined again today by Ryan Neal from Swordwind and from the Vulgar Skill. Today we're going to be breaking down the first chapter of Marozzo's Unaccompanied Dagger, or as it's sometimes thought of, his Dueling Dagger. Ryan, take it away.
All right, so we begin in Coda Longa Stretta, and our first action is to give a thrust to the hand. The reason we do this, we want to go for a shallower target if our opponent is already, if we're going to be initiating the action and we're not responding to something the opponent does. Simply put, because the weapons are so short, if I just go for deep target, even if I get Eric, there's a chance he's going to get me too if he's suicidal or does the wrong thing. There are no ties in knife fights. So I'm going to provoke him in a good Bolognese fashion by thrusting to the inside of his hand. Marozzo says this is where the glove does not reach, because a gauntlet will have nothing on the palm here. Dueling gloves in the period that have chain on the back will not have protection for you. Marozzo says if he's not wearing a glove, so much the worse for him, which is basically means if he's not wearing a glove, sucks to be him. So here, I give a thrust to the hand. Now if Eric chooses to move the hand out of the way or do anything, this
I want to be stabbed in the hand.
Since he does not want to be stabbed in the hand, this lets me do a mezzo mandrito, ending in porta di ferro alta, and take a deeper target here, where there's nice meaty tendons and vessels and all sorts of things that are nice to cut. Now if Eric continues to get, and he gives a attack to my head, because I've not disabled him, I meet him in the manner of guardia di entrare, which for Marozzo is going to be kind of this kind of position. Here, I'm taking my right foot at the same time to his outside. So I step in and really stuff that. This also sets up, because my foot is turned out, my left foot to come around. As my left foot comes around, I find his arm, and I like to give it a good shove. And I could give you either a thrust or a reverso. The reason I like to give a good shove here is because Marozzo says, be careful about his offhand trying to get my dagger. And this is no good unless I'm a better wrestler. So pay attention to your wrestling, kids. You can afford to make mistakes. If I give this good shove, if he tries to come across after I've cut him, it's very hard for him to, because I've got the structural better position. And the more you can get around, if you're doing this really dynamic and explosively, the harder it is going to be for him to get at you with that hand.
So what we're going to do now is build that up piece by piece. There are a number of points where somebody could die there. The fact that Marozzo gives that deep progression doesn't mean that that's how every knife fight goes or how he expects every knife fight to go. As always, what we're doing here is learning principles through the drill. So the first thing that could happen is Ryan just catches me asleep and he actually does stab me in the hand. Oh no, and now I can't hold my knife. He wins. If I avoid that, as Ryan explained, he can still cut me in the hand. And oh no, I am dead. If I pull back so far that he can't cut me in the hand, or if he cuts me in the hand but ineffectively, then I can come back and hit him. In which case, he parries with the true edges he just did and steps aside, checking me and give me that stab in the chest.
Then I retreat 4 or 5 steps in a well-formed and gallant Coda Longa Stretta.
That last point is important, and it's one that Marozzo makes several times throughout his book. With any weapon, but especially with knives, he says, once you've wounded the guy, you need to get out of reach. And the reason for that, he says, is because somebody who is wounded, if you stay close, may be willing to accept further blows in order to give you something. So even if Ryan has stabbed me in the chest, and I know that I am dead, I very well may say just, well, you know what? If I'm going, you're going with me too, and nobody wants that. Whereas if he jumps back, then here I am with this sucking chest wound going, oh no, he's way over there, and I really have to gather myself to go after him at that point, which means that he's going to be a lot safer. Hope this was useful. We'll be back soon with another video breaking down the next chapter of this material. And until then, thank you very much.